Hey, what's up, YouTube? Okay, I wanted to give y'all a recap on the whole Korea situation. I was talking to F-Town the other day, and he dropped a couple of good links my way. Um, if you keep up with his blog, then you might already know a bunch of this info, but I'm going to break it down anyway for those who don't follow him or who just haven't been keeping up. Okay, the Korean situation is far, 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 far from over. I know it's sort of died down in most of the media sources. So let's jump right into this. Okay, probably everybody knows that the George Washington, the big U.S. carrier that was in the Yellow Sea doing the drills with South Korea, has split. But South Korea has announced that it is planning to do more exercises, joint exercises with the U.S. In that area again. They haven't announced with what U.S. assets and exactly when, but they have announced that they are going to do it. Of course, I'm going to add a whole bunch of links to all this stuff in the description box so you guys can jump to any particular articles that you want to investigate further. So South Korea does announce that they're going to do more joint exercises. South Korea has also announced that they're going to be starting up live fire drills starting on December 6th. So that's next week, next Monday, I believe. Sunday night to us, if I'm correct. Now, these are basically the exact same drills that initiated North Korea's reaction to shell them. So, for what that's worth, that's what that is. South Korea has also deployed a whole bunch of missile batteries on that Yeonpyeong Island, which again is the island that North Korea shelled. So, instead of sort of trying to defuse any situation, South Korea has thrown a whole bunch of military assets up there and, are obviously preparing for a serious retaliatory strike or a preemptive strike or something like that. But that's what they're doing. Okay, next point is there's a couple articles floating around now of sources saying that North Korea is likely to attack again. This one comes out of BBC, and out of a source, a Japanese source says that North Korea is planning to attack again before the end of the year. I've also got a link here. Sarkozy, the French president, warns that North Korea is using the crisis to cover up transfer of nukes to Iran. Now, this is another big thing that's come out through the Wikileaks, and I'm sure pretty much everybody has caught wind of this, that they specifically, in the Wikileaks, connected North Korea and Iran nuclear missiles. I'm going to drop a link in the description box where experts are now questioning the North Korean Iran missile link from the WikiLeaks documents. So these guys are, in this article, they're discussing the fact, they're basically kind of debating the actual capability and the technicals on that Iran-Korean nuclear missile aspect. But just the fact that they're discussing it openly is a huge red flag. Okay, now we're going to move on to the U.S.'s direct involvement and what's going on with us. So as I said at the very beginning, the George Washington has split South Korea. They finished their drills and they moved off. But they didn't move very far. The George Washington went to train with Japan. And they're doing actually the largest ever drills, joint drills between Japan and U.S. So for what that's worth. There's also, this news is come out that the U.S. military is shipping 30,000 tons of jet fuel to South Korea. And now in the article that I'm going to link, the headline says that this is a normal thing. This isn't out of the ordinary, but I don't know if you can take that for what they're saying. And then here's the really big thing that's going on is that the USS Carl Vinson, which is another super carrier, okay, this guy is on the way to the Yellow Sea. Now, it's on a 7-month deployment for basically its training drills or whatever. It's in the total deployment that it's going to be out is 7 months, and in a month it's supposed to arrive in the Yellow Sea. So it's not like it's steaming over there and it's going to be there tomorrow. However, you know, just the fact that this another super carrier is on the way is sort of a big deal. And I'm going to talk more about this towards the end, my own personal speculation. Another article, the Carl Vinson shoots 12 missiles within a 7-day period, which is supposedly like a groundbreaking thing. And you have to remember that the Carl Vinson is a carrier. So, you know, it's not like a known really for, you know, missile capability. That's not the main point of a carrier. I will drop a link, Wikipedia, that talks about the Carl Vinson, gives you some more information. Basically the name, if you're curious, it comes from a Georgia senator or congressman or something from a while back. But the Carl Vinson is, it's no joke. It's going over there with Strike Group 1. It left on, let's see, the 30th of November. And it's got, in its strike group, it's got the cruiser Bunker Hill, the destroyers Stockdale and Gridley, and carrier Air Wing 17. And if you take a look at the Wikipedia breakdown, or there's, sorry, the article that talks about when the Carl Vinson deployed, it gives a breakdown of the air assets that the Carl Vinson has on it, and they have some hardcore air assets. You know, they're not fooling around. It seems to be a very, let's say, like proactive first strike capability. Also, the Carl Vinson, the missiles that it was shooting off that I just mentioned a second ago, they're what they're called Evolved Sea Sparrow missiles. And these are specifically defensive missiles that are used to shoot down incoming enemy missiles. So basically, the Carl Vinson has been drilling for some serious defensive maneuvers. Just another piece in the puzzle. So that's basically what I got for you guys right now. All those little interesting articles and pieces, tidbits. Again, you know, you can jump and read through them at your own leisure. I want to talk a little bit on my personal speculation on this. Okay, first off, I think that the Carl Vinson is going to get called off its training early, meaning it's supposed to arrive in South Korea in a month. I think there's going to be an incident, and it's going to wind up getting over there quicker. What's the incident that brings the Carl Vinson into port at the Yellow Sea earlier than a month from now? Well, we all know North Korea's power is their bark. The threat that they can basically, you know, go insane and wreak havoc, that they have, they can throw their pretty strong military somewhere, and that they're willing to, you know, be a loose cannon and do so. We've seen them do this many years, going through the news. You know, they're always doing something and making threats. But the fact of the matter is that North Korea can't last in an all-out war with U.S. and South Korea. So in the end, they would be eliminated, and a new power base would spring up in North Korea, or it would get unified, or whatever. And I subscribe to the theory that Kim Jong-il knows this. So then it becomes a game of how much damage can North Korea inflict on everyone around them before they get wiped out in a war. And you know, this reasoning really isn't in the best interest of the North Korean power base or the North Korean people. Not that they care about their people, we know they don't, but the point is, it's it's sort of just like a, like a revenge thing. Like, okay, shit, we're gonna get knocked out of here. Well, we'll kill as many people as we can while we're going. Off the bat, it's really, why would you initiate that if you're in power and you're doing what you're doing? You wouldn't go down that road unless you had to. I don't think Kim Jong-il is as crazy as people think he is. So the next logical question is, will they do their standard operating procedure of attacking and backing with a lot of threats, or what are they going to be up to? What are they going to do? I see it as three possible things. One, they can do nothing, and this assumes that South Korea continues with their live firing exercises and continues taunting them and pushing them. So they can do nothing, which really isn't in their best interest, because it allows South Korea to put more and more military assets around them, entrench and get more prepared for an inevitable conflict. North Korea can make another small attack backed by large threats, and this, I think, is the most probable thing that we'll see in the next couple of weeks. And the real danger here is that at this stage, if South Korea retaliates seriously, I think North Korea will have no choice. They'll be backed into a corner, and they'll have to respond with everything they've got, and that'll spiral into a major war in an instant. And North Korea is just gonna have to at that point do whatever they can to survive. Now the third thing is North Korea could make a large attack backed with even larger threats, basically declaring all-out war. Now, the only way that I see North Korea doing this is if they already have some sort of means established to inflict massive damage against their enemies. In other words, let's say that North Korea right now has nukes in cargo containers, around the world, and in a couple of weeks, North Korea, blasts South Korea and says, screw you, we're doing what we want to do, and if you mess with us, this is what we're going to do. And maybe they detonate something somewhere as a threat. And, only with that possibility do I see it that they can maybe make the U.S. military and South Korean military possibly back down or get back to the, negotiating table. Other than that, I don't see that North Korea really can make a large attack or declare, all-out war, again, just because inevitably they would lose and it wouldn't be in their interest to go down that road. So that's it. That's how I see it. That's how the breakdown that I see. Personally, again, I see them making some sort of another small attack, like they shelled the island. They do something like that again with bigger threats. And I see this happening actually like in mid-December. That's when I see this all going down. Again, the South Koreans are going to start shooting their drills off again next Monday, so maybe it'll go down as early as next week, but I have a feeling mid-December. Another reason why I feel that is because a conflict in Korea would also, I think, help pad the really, really bad economic news here at home for the holidays, which I think is definitely coming up. So last note, I think that it's definitely in the US's agenda to wipe North Korea off the map. I think that's in their script. The reason for that would be twofold. One, it would show that the US can be decisive militarily and still has some serious capability. Basically unlike Afghanistan and Iraq that we've been bogged down for years, if we could go in there with a couple of carriers and just boom, flatten them out and take it over and that's it, that would make people think, oh, okay, the US is still a player. And two, that would work directly with pressuring and intimidating Iran to concede to some stuff that we want and get back to the drawing table. It's all a lot of good talk and everything, but if we wipe out one of their main partners, that could put some fear in them. So that's my take on all this. I hope it's helped, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Later, YouTube.